Hello and welcome. I am so excited. I am here to talk about what I expect is going to be a new sales vehicle or another sales platform for me, but it's going to be a multi-part series because this is going to take me some time. I am trying to figure out how I want to handle things that I want to try and give that last chance effort to before I sell it all. And educating myself in this new eBay store endeavor, came across a lot of sellers talking about the sales platform of Whatnot. And I thought, God, this just keeps coming up. And I went and investigated, and I have to tell you, wow. I've been doing online sales for 22, almost 23 years. I'm calling this one, if it's not this particular one, it will be a version of this that's going to be maybe not the big market disruptor like eBay and Amazon, but I think it's going to be up there as an Etsy or Poshmark. Poshmark still, I don't feel, has gotten that up there yet. Why? Well, there is many things, but one of the things I like about it that I think is why it's going to be taken off is because there's a level of face-to-face communicating that you can do as you're trying to sell your goods that is very QVC-esque in the way that you can bring the stuff up and you can display it and talk about it and then put it up for auction and people bid on it. But I think there's a lot of things that the buyers are craving now in this market that you're not getting as static as the static sites of like eBay and Amazon are doing. They're trying to introduce the video, and that's great, but you're not getting that human interaction back and forth. So the only way I could think to describe it is as if you're on a Zoom call or in a FaceTime group or a FaceTime meeting. The seller comes on, I'm telling you, they were in their homes. It was nothing fancy. Some of them didn't even show themselves. It was literally just the goods on the table. And the buyers were able to comment or ask questions in a comment format. You weren't having to verbalize them. You were just typing them in. Most of them seemed to have a moderator in there trying to keep you abreast as far as like what the item was that was up for bid, so you understood what was going on. So on a buyer side, I think that they are getting a lot of things there because they're getting that socialization. They're going on all day, all night. I wasn't sure at first what to expect. There was different categories, and in each category, there could be many going on at the same time. Basically, you're going into each channel, so to speak, or each person's show. And if you go into one and you start just not feeling that it's something that maybe you wanted to go in for crafting and it wasn't your craft, you could move over to see what other people had as for the types of goods they were selling. The sellers do have an opportunity to put up a title when they schedule their show, and it's recommended in that title that you put up any kind of keyword or brand name of what you think people are shopping for, because they will only get a small snippet of it. But if they come in and they're searching for, and I like making cards, if I went in and put in stamps and dies, that would be in a title, it would show up for me. If I wanted to go in and look for Stampin' Up! And somebody had that in their title, it would show up for me. Even though the sale would only have the first few so many characters, it would show up as a recommendation. So that was very nice that you can go in and pick and choose. They have them all day, all night. They will show you ones that are coming up in the future. So if something catches your eye, you can bookmark it, which was nice. And one of the things that I was noticing on a few of them was that some of these sellers were very smart in the fact that they were addressing people that were coming in like, hey, Mary, thanks for coming. Or, oh, Sally, I hope you liked that dress you got last week. Or, oh, look at that, Ben, you won the auction today. Congrats, you got a good deal on that. And they were kind of working the crowd of people that came in as viewers to their auction. And I thought that was brilliant. There's other things that you can do as a seller that is really going to put you a step above other people, because this platform builds in the social media like I've never seen it. What they're doing in there is not just giving you a platform to come in and have people bidding and stuff, but you can build up a following, and the following is a good way for you to get ahead in their platform, because what happens is, if I follow somebody and they schedule a sale, I'm supposed to be notified that that person has an upcoming sale. And I think you may get noticed at a time period like when it's going up and becoming live. So you get that as a reminder. So that is one perk in it. But another thing that goes on a lot over there is that they recommend that you do these giveaways. The giveaways can be anything that you as the seller choose it to be. And during your live show, you can choose how many giveaways you want to give. And at my understanding, the followers and I think the people that have won bids from you in that show become eligible, and it's a random pick for the giveaway. So it leads people to want to follow you, which is nice. If you go in and you're presenting yourself, and I'm not talking you have to go in there with the whole eyelashes and the hair just done and suit top. No, you go in there very personable, you go in there presentable, you know how to speak and get yourself heard, you have organization and consistency. You can build this platform up because people are going to relate to you and be appreciative of you with their monitoring of their time. I told you that it's a very quick format. People bid on these things from 10. I did see one seller extend it out on an item to 20 seconds. So as the seller, you can choose how much timing you want to give them. You as the seller get to set the pace because you don't hit the button for it to start, or I'm saying you're the only person that's hitting this button to start. I can tell you that the better organized people seem to be handling their shows much better as well. I had one lady who was a little bit kind of discombobulated. She had a bunch of used kids clothes, and she had women in there, and they were asking for certain size clothes, gender and season, meaning one woman said she wanted to see girls 2T for the summer, and then right behind her another woman asked for some boys size 7, and I think it was winter. And she was spending so much time like sorting through her goods that by the time she decided to ask about the woman with the boy 7, the woman had left. And she managed her people very personably and all, but I think she lost some sales opportunity because she just wasn't better organized in how her stuff was going to be presented. And it's nice to see that you can organically change the type of goods that you were offering. If you've got people coming in and you're bringing up a lot of 0 to 3 month newborn size, but you've got people that are in toddlers, you can make that decision to shift gears and say, hey, well, what is it you want to see? Oh, you're looking for toys? Well, hold on. If you're organized in the way your stuff is, you can pretty much start bringing that stuff in. You should be bringing them in with a set number. I saw a lot of them bringing up where they had like a wall unit of cubby holes with numbers in it. So if somebody bid on the 7th item of your sale, it went in cubby hole 7. Or I did see people that had the kids' clothing hanging on hangers and they had hang tags on it, so that if they bought number 12, the clothing did follow through with having that hang tag number on it. So that was very desirable. I've said I want to have a 6-figure income, and I've been saying it as an eBay seller, but I'm thinking now that if this sales platform is giving the opportunity that I think it will be offering to me, I'm going to be able to use it for many other ways. I think I'm going to be able to source some different things as I'm out shopping that I wasn't in my head having thought through before. The woman with the kids' clothes, that she was losing the woman because she was too disorganized. I've been there. I've sold, I said before, one of the ways I basically got paid to clothe my child was I would go out to yard sales when he was young and buy up very, very nice, if not brand new items. And then I would group them up and sell them on eBay for $150 to $200. And I would only pay 25 cents or something, maybe $1 at the most, for these items, and then group up like 30 of them where I'd put maybe half a dozen shirts, half a dozen pair of pants, maybe a coat, couple sweaters or something, and like hat and gloves and socks or something to get to the 30 piece price point, or lot size, and then get like 150, and I'm getting $5 an item or something for it. If I'm paying 25 cents for it, that's a pretty good profit. And I thought at first, like, I don't want to do that on eBay right now. The market is saturated. If you haven't been out there to try and find something for yourself between eBay and Amazon, I recommend you go. I just tried to find some things in my craft because I'm looking for stuff to go away in my vacation in a couple of weeks. And the things that showed up in my feed on Amazon that had nothing to do with, no words were even showing up in their titles or anything with what I put in for what I was searching for. That platform is really starting to frustrate people. I've heard it said many times. So this is where it leads me to say is if you become very cultivated in who and what kind of products you're going to be looking for what kind of sellers you want is what I meant by the who. If you have a certain seller in mind and you know you want to sell, let's just say, there's plants on there. Maybe you just want to be a hosta seller. Maybe you want us to sell the hosta plant, and that's who your buyer is going to be, is people that are desiring hosta plants. I'm going to tell you, I've bought hosta plants. I love hostas. I could go out there and seriously cultivate the hostas out of my yard and just sell to that kind of a buyer. Somebody who's just looking for that kind of plant. And you could do that. There is definitely people that are on there that are just selling to Lego. There is people that are just selling that Funko. I mean, it's just the way it is. You can pick and choose to that level of a niche and just do that. I plan to probably bring in my Christmas. I'm planning to now use that platform in my wholesale business to get rid of what I would be liquidating that I had considered and had planned on bringing in an estate sale company for. But I think realistically, the time as a seller on there is going to be very short in duration of what's needed for you to get it on there. I think if you were just consistent, presentable, respectful, people are going to gravitate to that kind of a presenter anyway, organized, and ship on time. One of their things is you have 2 days to ship the goods. That's fine. I ship in 24 hours anyway. I have not explored yet like what happens for things like returns, if there's such a thing as feedback. I understand that the networking is big on there, which I did get to witness last night, and it's a thing called raids. And what happens is if I'm in my show, I basically set, I guess, during the time of setting up my show, I give a designated time, like I'm going to do 30 minutes. And at the end of my 30 minutes, when I'm logging off, if I still have, let's say, 30 followers in my open feed of this show, I can choose somebody else's show to take my followers over to, for when I log off, they will now stay in this other new show's show. So obviously, if you're networking with other sellers on there, it should be reciprocal, that as they're having a show and they're logging off, they come over, they say, hey Kristen, how you doing tonight? I hope your show's going well. We've got all my lovely followers here and they want to come see what you have for sale. Okay, have a nice night, bye. And you log off. Now all your 40 followers possibly followed themselves over to somebody new. And it's not any detriment to you because they just got done shopping at your sale, and now you're going to introduce them to somebody else, and this should be a networking thing where they're going to bring you over to, at some point, the people from their show. And if it's not them, somebody else in the network. I love that idea. I've been a firm believer in networking. I've did many opportunities and talks. Anytime I can say it, I will say it, that networking is the lifeblood of a business. So that to me fed right to my heart on that. So this is where I'm looking at. I want to get one sale, if not possibly up to 3. I have 3 ideas of sales I want to get through in this week. I see it as a very big benefit for me because I do have stuff that I already know it has been very difficult. It's been neglected. It's not been listed because of being able to not get it. I'm not getting it photographed. It's not looking well. And I think this is going to be the perfect platform for bringing that kind of item in, because I can hold it up, I can live describe it, people have questions they can ask me about it, I can hold it for the different light angles. I think this is going to be beautiful. So this is where I'm going to wrap up part 1. I expect that once I do my sales, I'm going to be back with a lot more feedback on what I thought of the experience. If it doesn't work out, I'll share that as well, and I'll admit why it didn't go right. But for now, I'm excited. I expect this is going to open up a lot of future sales opportunities for me. I think it's going to give us a lot of ways to move people through my different platforms. I don't plan on giving up eBay. I think this is going to be a way that I can cross market back and forth. We shall see. We'll be back.